What is up, everyone? This will be my first studio visit video, which I am very excited about. I decided to choose my friend Graham Walsh and go visit his home studio, which is pretty much down the street from mine. I haven't been there in about 8 years or so I thought this was a good opportunity to go check it out, bring a camera, film it, so then everyone else can kind of see. Graham and I worked together on a record years ago by the band Cousins. It's one of my favorite albums I've ever worked on. I loved working with Graham. Graham also mixed my last band Beliefs last record and has good taste, works on a lot of cool projects, and I thought no better of a person to kind of start this little studio visit series. So if you enjoy this kind of video, definitely like and subscribe. It's going to be a long one. This is definitely like a nerd out video. Graham's kind of known for his like organic approach to electronic music, which I think is really cool. He's got some really cool outboard stuff, lots of cool synths, an old console, and it's just a really vibey studio. So let's go check it out. All right, want to take me down to your studio?
Yeah, come on down.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, this is amazing. It's changed since the last time I've been here.
Yes, I've been mixing things up a lot lately and kind of organizing, but got it to an organizational spot where it feels good to me.
When we were, for those who don't know, Graham mixed my last band Beliefs last record here.
Yeah.
That was like 10 years ago, 8 years ago maybe.
Yeah.
And you were set up kind of more on this corner where the records are.
Yes, yeah.
And then you kind of, this was kind of, like a little bit more no man's space. Although, actually, but back there you had maybe like a little booth or something.
Yeah.
Or you maybe just like would stick a guitar amp in there.
Yep.
Do you still do that?
Sometimes, yeah. There's a room back there that we don't need to look into. But that can be, that can be a space for. In fact, I had drums set up in there for a minute, and cool. It can be a vocal booth or whatever. It just sort of becomes anything.
Yeah,
that's funny. Like I think I initially had my setup facing this way.
Yeah,
and it was funny because I would get. Like my wife would come down the stairs and would always scare me because I wasn't facing the way I'd be listening to music.
Yeah.
So then I think eventually I was like, screw this. So then I put everything over there so I could just see when somebody was coming down, which is a dumb idea.
Yeah.
And that's why everything was set up over there for a bit. But then I realized I wasn't really doing myself any favors sound-wise or kind of like, you want your space to feel comfortable and everything like that. So I moved everything back this way. I made those shelves back there to store a bunch of our crap and books and stuff, and that to me that kind of like acts as good sound absorbers maybe a little bit, and
also I think just a good vibe too.
That's
just feels like warm and cozy.
Thank you. Yeah, that's mostly all I care about is just the vibe. Oh, I can't. Yeah, don't. It's funny that you're filming. That's the where all
also
the no man's land. Of where all a bunch of crap goes.
So you overcame your fear of getting jump scared.
Yes. Yeah, the jump scares are fine.
In order to preserve the best possible studio setup.
Usually what happens is they'll be quiet. Somebody will be, my daughter or my wife will put their hand on my shoulder while I'm working, and then it's fine. But I don't.
Or even just like a yell or something. Or
or the flicker of the lights on and off. That's
a good one. Yeah.
But I also don't, I don't go too loud down here either way, so it's not like I can still kind of hear things. But it feels cozy down here, and that's sort of the main thing. That's like, acoustics and sound absorption and all those things are important, but for me, number one, even with any studio that I've been in, it's always like the vibe is I want to feel like I'm in a place where you're in a bit of a clubhouse.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely dig the clubhouse vibe. It's like, or I definitely see the clubhouse vibe. I also think too, like, this room is pretty good dimensions as well. Like, it's like you have good natural acoustic properties happening in the room, like you've got some like wood walls, and ceiling is like pretty good height for a basement. Like I think it's higher than my ceiling in my studio.
Yeah, it wasn't normal.
How high are these ceilings?
They're just under 8 feet now actually, but it was your typical low basement ceiling Toronto Toronto basement.
You dug down.
And we did, yeah. Well, that's
amazing.
we were. I mean, yeah, we did the undertaking, but it was so beneficial. It was a huge deal to do, but in the end, it was very much worth it. Because it just kind of created a whole extra space to do stuff in. My idea is kind of like create somewhere, because I contemplated the idea of having my own studio. I like to have my own big room and
like
everything to do
space.
it. I guess like a commercial space, but I never wanted, I myself, I could never handle the stress of booking it out or anything like that. But I like the idea of, so I wanted to create a space, and this is kind of how I started working from the beginning. Was like going somewhere to record a band, and then, as you know, like there's a lot of fucking around that happens after the fact. So then I wanted somewhere to bring it all back. And that's this space, is we can go to a studio and track and get what we need out of a big room and bring it all back here and just mess around with all this stuff.
For sure.
Edit and mix and do overdubs or whatever. And there's no clock ticking and it can be on any of my...
It's kind of utilized. I mean, that's kind of the modern age, right? Especially in a big city, like, it's just like utilizing the larger spaces for the things that, give you those benefits. But having a space where you can actually just like not look at the clock as much is pretty crucial for a lot of us, I think. Whether that's cheap, smaller places or home setups or, sharing spaces, like this. You want to have time to experiment with people. You can definitely tell, like, this is a room that happens.
Well, we've lived in so many. We had the Parkdale basement apartment where my computer was in the corner of the living room for a while, and I struggled it out that way. And I've had all those spaces, but this one finally feels it's good. I can come down here in the morning with my coffee and just make drones for a while if I want to, and then and work on whatever I want. So it's great. Yeah, it feels good.
It's awesome.
Thanks.
So this table is mostly pretty much like the majority extension of your Holy Fuck rig.
Correct. Yeah. This is like the. And it's funny, I'll show you over here. I just got back from, that seems potential, my photographer friend he was doing an exhibit on objects. So my friend Finn O'Hara is a really talented photographer.
That's awesome.
He took a photo of, this was my board, like my performance rig, for a long time. And it's sort of like, it's always ever evolved. So I literally just got this back last week from being framed.
What era would you say this is? Like how long ago was this rig?
That would have been like 2009.
Okay.
2008, 9 to 2013, 14.
I can tell because you're still on the Behringer, but then you upgraded to Mackie.
That's right. That's an Elysis, but yes.
Oh, an Elysis. Sorry.
Yeah, but I painted it all, and then I still have my SK8, which is awesome. But they've become so unreliable, and I've kind of evolved this and that. But yeah, it's always been kind of a thing that's ever evolving, and so now this is sort of where I'm at too. I've got, we all jumped on the modular train. A little bit into. I've tried to rein in my modular tendencies to just this case and only that. And so this one does a specific thing, and
that's
this one
mostly for live.
Yeah. So this is mostly my live.
Oh, and I sold you that filter too, I think.
That's right. Yeah. And I'm
But you sometimes, I think even when we were working on that record together, you were implementing some of this stuff in the mix process. So you do often run some of the stuff that you're working on for production into this rig too.
Right? I very much love the idea of manually manipulating things, doing things as much as I can outside of the computer as possible, especially with this. So this is actually a bit of a hub as far as plugging in obviously keyboards and drum machines and stuff like that, but I'll take vocals out of Pro Tools and line them through here, or live drums and run them through. And then I've got all these effects and everything, pedals that I can run through, and then just like manipulate everything in real time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just find that for me, I'll I'll set a delay or a reverb on and a plug-in on and just let it be.
Yep.
But with running it through here, and you can kind of alter things, and you can let things breathe and be more sort of human, and ebb and flow, and you'll get happy accidents out of it, and you'll get weird imperfections that sound cool. So not everything is like perfectly like in time.
Sometimes it's quicker too, than drawing the thing in or riding the fader. That
Yes.
Be able to actually just turn the knob.
Yeah. I've done things like the delay, like on this, like on vocals, like real time, like really messing with the decay time on a vocal, and you can, and then it does something to the vocal that it literally breathes. You can't really tell what it's doing, but the tails of the vocal or the reverb decay are kind of stretching and shortening and everything. It's really neat. So I like using this a lot as kind of this effects chain as a bit of a hub of sorts.
Sometimes I look at your rig too. It's like you do have some things that are look powerful and can do a lot, but sometimes there's parts of your rig that are almost a little bit archaic, and I'm always like pretty impressed of the sounds and like the things that you are able to get out of it.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's all about. At least for me, at embracing limitations, using this stuff as much as possible, create with like taking to take sounds and make new stuff out with all this sort of stuff. And live manipulation. Everything here is meant to be tactile and played with your hands.
No automation drawing.
No automation, nothing's quantized. That's where the beauty, the happy accidents, off and off. You just kind of look around.
We're live in the moment. What do you use the Boss for? How is the Boss set up in your rig? Is it just going through everything?
Everything's going through here right now.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's a really,
EQ,
really good EQ. I use it mostly for an EQ, obviously.
But you got like a lot of frequency bands.
There's a lot of frequency bands on it.
The Mackie.
Because you can go to each frequency plus minus 12, and then you have a full plus minus 12 dB.
If you were to take all these down and just have one frequency, would you only hear what's coming out of that frequency?
That's my one thing I want to do with this.
Okay.
And I've talked to people about it. I guess that's more of a fixed
it's like
filter
a DJ,
bank.
more DJ style mixer kind of thing.
Yeah, like or a fixed filter bank.
Yeah, fixed filter bank, right.
And I've talked to a couple people about either having something like that
Just
made.
Talk to Oliver about that.
or I'm not sure if there's a way to modify this. That's the only my only gripe about this. The only thing I want is I want to be able to pull all these frequencies down and have it be silent.
Yeah.
And then being able to just isolate.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, because then it's more like it's like sound discovery.
For sure.
Like pulling sound out of things that you didn't. You're creating entirely new things out of it if you're just.
I mean, I don't know anything in the pedal world, but I know like I have the Bark filter by Verbose. Like you could probably get something in the Eurorack world.
There's definitely something in the Eurorack
But then they would have to kind of go through all this stuff. Like, because the Eurorack in your setup, is it a little bit separated or is that just...
So this is just most...
Because that's more a sound source, right?
This one's just basically I wanted mono synth.
Yeah.
So essentially this here is just a basic mono synth.
Yep.
Kind of,
so
it's just these two oscillators.
Okay. Those are the
2 HP oscillators. Cool. And again, the idea, like cram it into a small space. I don't need to mess with it.
Yeah.
And then this is a pretty fun, like kind of mixer, Blue Lantern mixer filter, white noise generator all together. And then this evil Behringer envelope generator.
Yeah, we always hide our Behringer.
Yeah. Well, I had
I got this Behringer.
I had a Pittsburgh Audio one that I really liked because the knobs were big.
Yeah.
And you can really kind of like grab them, and it fried out.
Yeah.
And then I was using my Dope one. I have a Dope one. That was also fun. And I guess like all of us, I think this was like $30.
I know, it's insane.
At Lamaquay, and it does exactly what I wanted to do. So whatever, and it fits. So I got that. And then
well, you're supporting a lot of other companies with all this stuff.
Sure. And then this I bought off you.
Yeah.
This is the sort of the MS-20 filter clone, and I really liked it because it has the quarter inch ins and outs. And now that's another thing I was talking to you before about it, but getting. Because I know there's schematics online about building your own MS-20 filter.
Oh,
so I was trying to do that. I'm gonna eventually, hopefully, I would like to build my own MS-20 filter there. So yeah, just another way of like running stuff through.
And this other half of the Eurorack is sort of a separate voice. Like it's like they're not kind of interacting.
No, this is this is just often coming on channel 2.
Gotcha.
The monosynth.
Yeah.
This filter is part of the whole like manipulation chain.
Oh, okay. So that filter is kind of part of this world, and then this is on a separate channel.
And then this is Morphogene I put in there because I wanted to again be able to like capture things in loop stuff, and that comes up another channel here. To be honest, I don't use it too much because that is starting to get into the like down the rabbit hole a little bit more. So I don't use it too much. In fact, I might take it out.
Yeah.
I have another one that over on this the Qubit one that does sampling as well too that I like a lot better. But yeah, this is essentially it. And then live I'll have my Octatrack kind of up there, and then I'll have another table of a bunch of stuff. I have this now. I've been bringing this record player with me, and I don't have it plugged in right now, but I'll often make clangy noises with the spring reverb tank through it.
Cool.
And
do you use this as well?
I do. I've been using it a long time.
Brian has something like that on his rig too. No?
He has a 35 millimeter film synchronizer where he pulls tape through it and creates crazy sounds with that. And then this
isn't like just an old record player.
That's right. But the fun thing about this, I've had it for a long time, even before Holy Fuck Days, but and it's always just been kind of like a thing I've played around with, but never used it live until recently. The fun thing about it, the reason why I got it, is because it'll do 16 speed and
16
it goes 78, 45, 32, and it will also do 16 speed, and then it has a fast and slow lever on it, so you can get records kind of turning so slow on them.
Oh, cool.
And it's really we're still recording there. So as far as like capturing samples,
so slow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then would you bring out some records like with you like during a show? Like do you have like a few records that you would bring out that you kind of your go-tos?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes if it's too slow, you get too much. And yet, I mean,
that's barely moving. That's like when you shut off like a Technics and it's like the last 3 seconds of it spinning.
And it's just about discovery, you know, like instead of capturing samples, you get some really neat. I think one of the other ones that was really fun recently was the electro-harmonic sounds of the 3 reeds. Which is these 3 guys who play harmonica, but
for a second there I was thinking electro-harmonics. I was like, oh, they made records back then?
Yeah, no.
The electro-harmonic sounds, the 3 reeds.
you know,
We're in
instant ambient record.
Yeah, that's
but meanwhile, like
amazing.
played normal speed, it's the cheesiest, like whatever.
Like the Looney Tunes music.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, that sounded beautiful. It's so cool.
So I have I find like classical records are often fun, of course, and just any.
And are you allowed to talk about this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is another pedal that I came up with a long time ago, and what it is basically. I call it kind of a sound conductor, I guess, for lack of a better term. But essentially, what it's everything a quarter-inch in runs through in and then out. When the light's on, signal's passing through, and then when you engage it, the light turns off. Signal's muted until you push the button. I guess it's like a glorified kill switch in a way. The idea is that you can plug anything into it, any sound source, anything that makes noise, anything before it, and it kind of gives you rhythmic control over the sound and
unquantized.
So unquantized. Well, that's sort of the idea.
Yeah.
Is like the concept behind it is to bring pull musicality out of things that aren't inherently musical.
Yeah.
And so like normally where you've got your delay pedal now is feeding back. You got
awesome.
I mean, that's just one example.
Yeah, for sure.
Of it. You know, if you put the three reeds back on.
Yeah.
And
our boys, the three reeds.
Have them. You know, you can play whatever,
awesome.
however you want to use it.
Yeah.
Any.
Do you usually have that running before, like the reverb delay?
So the creativity for me is again, it's like however you want to use it, however you want to put it in the chain, because it kind of depends where you have it. So I have it in the middle.
Yeah.
So anything over here, post.
This is post.
This is post. So anything I put, it'll get delayed analog here and go to the reverb, and then anything before here is in here, so I can get like different feedbacks. I can distort everything going into here, and then my ring modulator is before it as well.
That's cool.
So yeah, kind of however you have it in your signal path. Changes things. I find, and just for me in particular, this is where I've put it. It's kind of right in the middle.
That makes sense. Yeah, because being able to just kind of like ambientify the glitches a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll often run.
Did I just make up a new word? Ambientify?
Ambientify. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Sometimes I'll run drums through it, and kind of really distort the crap out of them.
Okay.
And then in the box, I'll gate that on and off, like as a let's see if I can get it happening here, like. So I have that just going, and then. And you get some feedback going.
Sick. That's so awesome.
So that's where you can kind of harness a bit of chaos there and make it work. And it's like not quantized.
Yeah.
You have to like actually play it. You won't ever be in perfect time with your music, which I think is great too. Like it adds some smeariness to everything. So
because you guys also play with a live drummer too, right? So there's always going to be that like human element to it. I mean, I feel like when I first even had heard of you guys, I was like part of the write up too. Is like this like more organic. Mad scientist, almost like way of approaching electronic music.
I think that's Well, Brian and I obviously both came from being in guitar bands,
Yeah.
you know, and writing music that way. And you know, I had a bit more of an electronic music background, so I felt like this was like a really amazing context to bring that world into, for sure.
Definitely.
The humanity of it. The live drummer, having a live drummer and bass player, Matt and Matt, they're amazing. I don't know. It's just like it feels
cool.
It adds a little element of danger and chaos.
Definitely, definitely. That's awesome. Which we need these days.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Everything is very. You can dial everything in for the most part. I mean, it still takes work and effort, but it's definitely easier to dial things in, and it's harder to actually kind of just get those like, you know, special accidents.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so this is mostly this is going in. Obviously, I have this my console here, and it's all just I have a bunch of just inputs here, and it's all feeding into Pro Tools.
So are you using the console more as just kind of like inputs for like a lot of the synths and stuff like that?
Yeah. I did. Brian and we've mixed Holy Fuck songs a couple on this desk.
Yep.
And then the album that we did, the Cousins record that we did, was mixed through this desk.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
amazing.
And then there was another band I was embarking on a mix with, mixing a record for, and I did the first song all up on the desk. And it sounded sweet.
Yeah.
And I sent them the first version.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, it's great. It sounds awesome." And I was like, we have to sign off on it and then be done with that song, because I'm going to reset the board and then move on to the next, and then that song will be done. And they were just sort of, they couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
They were just like, no, we want to be able to sit with it, which is understandable too.
For sure.
So I've been mixing on this less, actually not really anymore. And so it is now. It's just a glorified hub for inputs and stuff, which is great because it sounds awesome and the EQs are great and it breaks up really cool.
Is it like how flexible or how kind of intensive is the EQ?
There's 8 channels of EQ here.
Okay.
Pardon the dust. And these ones are fully parametric.
Oh, okay.
And really, really musical, awesome sounding. And then these channels here have fixed high and I guess there's 2 low band frequencies, and then in the mid you select with these switches here. They're still pretty good.
More musical, like less surgical.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And that's the sort of the thing too with EQs, like the Boss one and these ones. I like. Yeah, musical, very broad stroke, carving, and then like everybody, I'll use my FabFilter EQ to notch things or whatever.
I think it took me a while to kind of get to that head, like realize. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but yeah, it's the more. For me personally, I'm like trying to get to a place where I have enough hardware that the most of the plugins I really have to use is just like FabFilter, you know? Yeah. Like if we have enough kind of toys to just kind of like lock in those like musical sounds.
I know. I think one day years ago, I got really fed up with the error message that the Waves plugins kept giving me, because at one point I had all the Waves plugins and then I got rid of them and it was like I wasn't using them. And I kept getting that error. I have to keep skipping through, like, can't find a wave shell or whatever that is. Yeah. And then, so I just like, that's it.
Yeah.
And I got rid of most of the plugins except for UAD, which I have, and then FabFilter and Sound Toys. Yeah. And there's a couple others.
Sound Toys is amazing, for sure, yeah. Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. Like they're just, yeah. There are amazing. I don't know. There are what they are. You know, I'm sure we all have our love-hate relationship with the Decapitator, and you know.
Do you find it just gets like overused? Yeah.
I used the crap out of it when I first had it. Like everybody does, and so I still do. I still use it from time to time. Yeah. But I have other means of overdriving things outside of stuff as well too. Yeah, so I use that.
It might just also be like, you know, you use a tool enough times and you're like, okay, I need to
kind of
shake things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you used the Magma Tubes one yet? That one's I would say it's worth demoing that one. It can get like a little harsh, like both, you know, there's a spot where they start to sound digital, but the Magma can sound a little bit more like overdriving a piece of analog gear. I find a little bit better, but there's a sweet spot. Once you start going, you know, crunchy, it just sounds crunchy.
I'll check it out. I'm on the hunt. And then recently another friend of mine was recommending the Safari pedals plugins.
I still haven't tried the Safari pedals.
And I hear that they're kind of interesting too. So like, don't just ignore the interface, but they are cool. So they seem cool. So I'll check those out.
An artist that I did a record for, she did all her demo drums just with like Logic drummer drum loops, and then just camel crushered them, and they sounded awesome. So I've been kind of curious about that since. I was actually curious too, because I know you use a summing mixer. Had you tried doing just like summing on the board before you had tried like the kind of the more
I tried summing, but it's hard to everything again, like there was no ability to recall, so I just have to kind of, I couldn't, and these it's
too many buttons and knobs.
It's just too finicky. So
and if you're using these channels to track through as well, then that's a lot of back and forth.
But I now what I do is I have the Neve Orbit summing mixer,
which is just one, like basically there's no knobs except just the saturation.
I set and forget it. I have the texture on blue and about there feels, it feels good. And I just leave it there, and then all my mixes go through a template that just routes there, and it's awesome. So I use that mostly.
The Switchcraft, is there anything special about these patch bays?
What's different about it is you can change the normalization right from the front, right there. So you just get a little screw.
Super handy. Okay, that's cool. And then you got the what is it? The midden gnome?
The gnome too.
Nice. So it's working out good. Okay, sweet. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, that also that kind of unlocked everything for me finally.
Okay, good.
Because this lets me sync my Pro Tools with all of my outboard stuff. So
like drum machines and stuff.
Yeah,
so
like this
samplers and whatnot.
Yeah, so this is USB is going to the computer, and in Pro Tools there's a plugin that recognizes this box.
That's awesome.
And then it'll all the like the tempo and everything will click. Will be matched here, and then so this cable is clock for modular. So that's all locked in.
Oh,
now.
nice.
And then MIDI, there's MIDI out, so now the MIDI goes over here. So all my like drum, my Octatrack and my the Deluge and everything can be just perfectly in sync with.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's finally. For the longest time, I would match the tempo on my device and then hit play at the same time and. Make it work that way, and then maybe line it up after if it needed. But now everything's it's great, especially with this. This thing is also having this beat perfectly in time.
That's huge.
With Pro Tools, it's great.
Do you find does it work okay no matter what like playback speed you're at, or if you're like in a heavier session with a lot of plugins or anything like that?
I'm noticing if I have a lot of plugins, it bogs down a little bit. So, but I don't know. It's mostly handy when you're first kind of writing and so nothing's too plug-in heavy.
I mean, I had told you about this thing, and like, cause I was running through the same issue for so many years, and it would change over time with different computers and then finally, someone. Because I had like a BeatStep Pro and all these things, and people were like, you can, sync this to your computer. And then I kind of just, after enough research, found out like, actually, USB MIDI doesn't really work like that. Like because it's tied to the CPU, there's always going to be latency. So for anybody watching this, like, you can use MIDI clock, and sometimes it works okay. There might be jitter, but for the most part, like it's. The only time I guess it ever really worked super well is like pre-PC, when it was like the Atari machines, I believe. Like they had there was like a solder directly on the board or something like that, but it was basically separate from the CPU, so there wasn't latency. So now we kind of need these like devices if we want to get it rock solid.
No, I know. I for some reason I seem to be able to make Ableton work. Was always
I've heard other people not have as much issues with the Ableton thing. But I mean, Pro Tools has it's got its strengths and weaknesses, obviously.
So having this be in sync is really opens it up. Because as far as, now conversely, like whereas this is sort of like the unquantizable, untimable, tweakable human machine. This having everything locked, this is what I wanted with, and I'm now having no more modular. I have this much room left, and I'm not going to do anymore.
Unless you got to get rid of something.
Unless I get rid of something. So so I mostly it's like about sound manipulation. So I have the Qubit. Like this is a long form sample player, and then I got filter, the Rainmaker, delay, comb filter thing. No, I don't know any plugin or maybe I'm sure there's a plugin that does it, but any outboard thing that like this is so awesome. I love it. And then the Herb Verb reverb.
Yeah,
I really like it. So being able to have like all CV control out of all the like the parameters and everything, it's pretty awesome.
I've owned that one a couple times. It is very special.
This is my wife's Wurlitzer.
Oh, amazing!
Gotta have one of these.
Yeah.
Instant, it's a vibe machine. It's awesome. A newer guitar that I guess I got a couple of years ago. For the longest time, I had an SG.
Okay.
It was my first ever good guitar that I had since I was in high school.
Do you still have it?
It got stolen.
Okay.
So somewhere, I feel like in Toronto, I've been keeping my eyes open, and it got stolen from here, not from here, but from a storage space. And it's funny, I've kind of been keeping my eyes open. If anybody finds a left-handed early '90s Gibson SG.
There you go, folks.
That has a repair on the headstock.
Okay.
Because it fell over and the headstock snapped, and I had to get it fixed. But that was mine. It got stolen.
When was this? How long ago?
15 years ago. Okay. So chances are slim.
Yeah, that's like my jazz master in Glasgow for 10 years ago.
Yeah, I'm probably not
chances
getting it back.
That,
this is my pride and joy.
Yeah.
This is, I got this off my friend Ben, maybe about 10 years ago or so. I'm really bad with dates, but old P-Bass.
Nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
Drums got in the States for a really good deal. I'm not a very good drummer, but I love playing. My daughter's shown interest in playing the drums recently too, so awesome. That's why we set them up down here.
Yeah.
But I'm like.
Have you recorded drums here?
I have recorded drums down here.
Because I noticed you have this. Like, is that for mics?
No, no, that's just a hang off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like a little jungle gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that'd be a good.
I could put mics. Put
for sure.
stands on that. Yep, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, we our drummer. We found it to be handy also to have a drum kit up here in Toronto too. So Matt will use these drums sometimes, but just for recording, I like having them. I like having my my snare option to bring into the studio as well too when I'm working with bands. And same thing with the cymbals. It's always good to have options of cymbals and snares for tone questing.
Yeah, I should mention too. Yeah, like I mean, obviously you do a lot of overdubs and stuff, but you do often track at other studios for like beds and drums.
Yeah.
Like you're at Palace a lot, or
I have Palace or Taurus. I've been to quite a bit. I've been to most of them in Union as well, or Revolution, obviously. But mostly Palace lately though.
Yeah.
It's just fun there.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like also like it's got it. It almost feels like if you had a commercial space, that would be like your space.
Yeah, they're awesome. I like it there.
Shout out Palace.
Shout out Palace.
And Taurus. And Union.
Yeah, and all of them. We've got great spaces here in Toronto.
I still have never been to Revolution, which is like, I mean, I haven't been to a lot of like the real, those like top tier studios. I mean, I would consider Union at that same level as well, but obviously I just know those guys better. So I've been tracking at Union actually recently for some drums. It's just like amazing drum sounds.
No kidding. No, I know. Exactly. You don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
Anything there.
Yeah. And let's go take a look at these synths.
I have. So there's I don't consider myself to be too much of there's a story. Well, I don't know. So this is my there's always an abundance of these things lying around.
Casio?
Because these are always inspiring and fun to mess around with. This Poly 6 years ago, I'm going to say more 25 years ago, a friend of a friend gave it to me because it was sitting in his basement busted, and then he's like, you should just take it. So I was. Yeah,
it's still here.
Thank you. Yep. So since when did go through it and kind of like gave it a goings through. I think it still needs some work.
Yep.
This Juno. Here's another kind of fun. I don't think this. I think this one needs batteries, but another.
Man, this is the aesthetic of this one is so 80s.
Oh yeah, these are.
That's great.
The Juno, I was looking for one of these. This came in used at Long McQuaid.
Nice.
Ages ago. I have a DX7 here, which I love.
Interesting.
Yep.
I can't see you being a DX7 lover.
Well, I mean,
because it's mostly presets, right?
Well, it's a lot of presets, but the magic, it comes alive when you start messing around with it. And obviously, it's like the Brian Eno synth
so you actually program it?
Well,
or a little.
You can, like it's really menu and acronym heavy, and it's finicky to get in. But when you break it open and you get beyond the presets, the thing is incredible.
Okay.
And I got it, and I remember when Songbird was on Queen Street way back in the day, my friend Matt used to work there. He's a total techno.
Is that
Matt Thibodeau?
Matt Thibodeau, yeah.
Yeah, so he told me all about Matt Thibodeau. Yeah, he kind of like also introduced me to the breaking out of that.
Cool.
Here is more junk. This I found at an antique store. The 2-octave electric organ science fair. So yeah, you can make cool sounds. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
The Korg, the Poly, we used that years ago too. The
Poly
string,
Ensemble.
Yeah, Poly Ensemble. Yes. That thing is killer.
So that, I was walking home one day from the grocery store. I had 2 bags of groceries.
Yeah.
Walking home, and around the corner there was somebody moving out of a house, and there was a van, and they were bringing boxes out, and there's a man. And he was taking boxes out, and he saw me, and that was sitting on the grass, on the ground. And he's like, "Hey, that organ, we're throwing it out if you want it." And I was like, "No, oh my god!" So I ran home as fast as I could, threw the groceries in the front door, ran back, and just brought this home.
Amazing.
And it just needed obviously like a bunch of cleaning up and like going over the contacts and stuff.
Yeah.
But that thing's awesome. There's more of this stuff. This Casio MT45. I don't know if it needs batteries. I'm prepared for today.
Yeah.
This has got a one real sick beat on it, and just neat. And I love all this kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
There's this one. Another MT220.
Nice.
These are great. Rhythmic 8 portable keyboard. It's a badass synth. And it's got we have a song called Super Inuit, and this is the basis of this is the kind of a guy in London, Ontario gifted me one of these after a show. He was a keyboard player, and he's like, I think you should have this.
Awesome.
So that was really nice. This is an old
that looks cool.
circuit bent Casio SK1.
Oh, okay.
That a fan brought to us on tour in Asheville, North Carolina.
I love the graphic too.
Yeah, I think they did. They took all the circuit bending points and wired them to this serial port here. Oh. So then you hook this up, and then you can
that's really
do
cool.
all the like live patching of the circuit bend
that's amazing.
points and stuff, and add the Gen SX1000.
Oh, I don't know.
That's just like a mono synth, one oscillator mono synth.
Okay.
I believe it's. I think it was an Italian company.
Okay.
And it's one oscillator, but it's really, really great sounding.
Okay.
It's really, really, really fat. And again, like limitations, it's one oscillator, but you can kind of get some.
I love how much space there is between the knobs too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The below it is the Control Circuit 6-track. One of my favorite synths.
Yeah.
I love that. Yep. I don't remember where I got that one from, but I think maybe somewhere.
Too.
And the mini mode. That was the first synth I ever got.
Wow.
From when I first moved to Toronto, my roommate at the time, his uncle was a keyboard player. Like he played keyboards in the like a 70s
Yeah.
rock and roll band. I asked him, how much you want for that Mini Moog?
Yeah.
And I think this was around 2002, maybe. But he's like, I don't know, man. The new keyboards nowadays, they're just so much better.
Yeah.
Back then, this one does. It's so basic.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't see it being worth more than like $500. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll take it, no problem. Like I didn't sight unseen. He's like, just keep it and just pay me on Monday. I'll get the money from you on Monday.
Okay.
So needless to say, it was the longest weekend I've ever had. I was like, please just don't go on the internet.
Don't ask anybody.
But even then, it was like, I think I remember looking on eBay in 2002, and a Mini Moog was maybe $1,200.
Wow.
At the time. So that was a great deal. I was like, please just don't go online, and he didn't. And I don't know. I think it was nice that he let me have it for that much.
You got some cool. You definitely don't have the most typical thing sitting in a modern day.
Well, so again, and it's stuff like what I've tried to get is when I can things that I don't otherwise have plugins for.
Right.
So I have again, I use the UAD stuff. I love it. Although an outboard, I would love to have an 1176.
Yes.
Or a Distressor or something. Yeah. That's kind of one thing. But the Harman Eventide.
H3000?
Yeah, that, like, I don't know, those are, everybody knows about those. Those are amazing. And I went on eBay and I bought what are they called? The kitchen sink chips.
Okay.
That you can drop into it. It gives you all the presets. So I did that. And
that's
it's
cool.
Awesome. Yeah, so this is I don't know, a no reverb plugin that I know of, at least for how the mojo in my room down here sounds like it. So I love that.
Okay.
The Yamaha Rev 7 is like this thing's awesome.
That's a reverb?
It's a reverb. Like it's got flange on it and slapped and stuff too. But it's like if you want gated drum kick and snare, that's it. Like if someone's like, I want that like 80s gated, that's the thing.
Just instant.
And there's another sort of a chorus on there called I think it's called Symphonic.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And
that's on the SP9. What is it? The cheaper one that Yamaha made that like Andy Wallace. Used.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. It's like an SPX 90. Similar, but I think it's broken out. This one has the actual EQ on it that you can dial in.
Cool.
And so that's awesome. This Ursa Major, I've been pining over one for ages. It's still a little bit finicky. So it works. One of the left side is quieter than the right, so it needs.
Is there anybody that can even fix something like this, you think?
Apparently, there's a company in the U.S. that will handle it, but because it's late 70s and digital, a lot of techs won't look at it. It is pretty gnarly.
Because I had a Lexicon PCM 70 and I couldn't find anybody to fix it.
Yeah.
Like the digital, like that kind of like vintage digital stuff.
Yeah. But again, I think there was
But you can still use it in mono right now?
No, I can still use it in stereo. I just have to plug, if I have to put one side maybe just through a preamp or in Pro Tools just regain one side just to match it up a little bit.
How about you sit and I'll come over here.
No sweat.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
The Valley people, Gain Brains, are really dynamic, fast, squishy, fun compressors.
Oh, cool.
Again, there's the Dynamite plugin.
I've heard, but I know they were the kind of like the famous one, like the Dynamite. I've never used the Valley people stuff. I think that's like a little bit. Well, I mean, a lot of this stuff can be before a lot of our time, but that was just one that I never got to have.
Yeah, they're really fun compressors. Again, I don't know. They're more like they're more character and less control. I guess you can dial them in subtle or whatever, but they're really fun to kind of go wild with. Yeah, those ones. the Automax,
Yep.
obviously.
I had one of those, but I mean, it's hard to know if mine sounded like yours.
I don't know. Yeah.
It was cool. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think I bought one because after you had brought yours when we did that Cousins record.
Yeah.
Because you were running some guitars and some
Yes.
drums.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
oh, this
no,
is
it's super. Yep, that's those are.
But yours actually has. Is that the attack or the release?
I think it's a release time.
Okay, yeah,
and, so my friend Stuart Whitby, shout out Stuart Whitby, he modified it and so he put actual knobs on it as opposed to normally it's like screws where you have to adjust. So I can have input and output control on it.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
then somewhere in the control, he noticed there was an ability to switch between slow, medium, and fast.
Okay.
And he put that switch on there. But honestly, when you're just using that to just as a distortion box, this doesn't really
matter much.
I don't notice too much of a difference from it. But yeah.
Is this a spring?
So the Sound Workshop.
Cool.
I've had this for ages, and because I could never find a spring reverb plugin that sounded good.
Nice.
And yet I almost still can't really.
Yeah. The analog spring can be a tough one to like really replicate.
Yeah, these are old McCurdy AT284 preamps.
Is that another Stewart?
These are Whippy. Yeah, I got these. These are some of the first outboard preamps that I ever got.
Oh,
I have
cool.
to get this button fixed here, but fantastic. I had this before I had the board here preamps, but these are really shout out Canadian company McCurdy. Bought this off of him.
Okay.
I bought this off my 160 off of him.
What do you like the 160 on? Because I've never owned a DB. I know they're pretty grabby.
A kick snare bass.
Kick snare bass. Okay. Yeah. So I guess that's like stuff that I would probably use my distressors on.
Yeah.
Because I mean the distressors do. I guess they have like a deep. I mean they kind of have some like emulation kind of modes.
Yeah. I used exactly. I use the plugin of this a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, great kick snare bass. And then this is I thought the 163 is a similar. I'm not sure if it's similar to this, but this is again one of those fun.
Squishy.
Well, yeah, but in the limitations, it's like compression, just like that's it, and it just grabs.
That's awesome.
And it sounds pretty characterful. The OC vocal stressor, which is it's a Canadian company.
So that's all compacts. Or that's all,
yes. Well,
sorry. What's the company?
ADR.
ADR. Yeah.
ADR is the British company. This is a Canadian company called Orange County.
Oh, they look so similar.
They got sued.
Okay.
And apparently, the story I heard was they got sued because they copied the Compex too closely.
Okay.
And then had to stop making them.
Okay.
I also sent this to Stuart, and he said that. He's like, actually, they're made better than the ADR stuff somehow. I don't know.
Okay.
But unlike the ADR, each one of these I don't know if I can do it, but each one of these units can like come out so you can service it.
Oh, it's like separate units. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then you can just like the clips kind of plug in the back, so you can.
That's cool. So do you ever use them separately?
I use them separately, but mostly I chain them together and run drums and.
Is it stereo?
No, just one channel.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
Well, so like, is that like something you kind of smash something with?
Yeah, same thing you would use the Compex for, where like a mono drum
smash,
or sometimes a vocal through it. Sounds neat. The Orban stereo EQ.
Yeah.
Again, same thing as the Boss thing.
Yeah.
I love graphic EQs.
Yeah.
Again, because of the sort of broad stroke approach to it.
Yeah.
This one is really interesting because you have independent left-right control.
Okay.
And over frequency select.
Yeah.
And Q are left-right and gain. So I guess it's sort of similar to how we were talking about using outboard to sum and stuff. Anyways, you can get like. You can get run something through and get a really interesting stereo picture because you can maybe on the left side boost like 50, and then on the right side boost 53, and then on the left you're boosting 100, but maybe on the right you're boosting 125, and on the left you're cutting 300, and on the right you're cutting 250 or whatever.
That's
and
really
so
cool.
It's just and it's and
then like guitars or something or synths.
Just
that'd
whatever.
So cool. No, I just like, I think that'd be so cool.
No, exactly.
Like stuff that you're kind of going wide on, you know.
So it's like the idea of not using. I do the same thing sometimes, often with rack gear that you can stereo link, you unlink it and make it dual mono.
Yeah.
And then and because I feel like your stereo image feels a bit wider. That's sort of what I feel like with this. You can kind of get that because you're EQing the sides slightly differently, and it's not so out of whack that it feels weird, but it's just enough to kind of spread things out a little bit.
Sure.
Whereas opposed to maybe a regular stereo EQ, each side is being EQ'd exactly the same. So this is kind of fun for that because it is the subtle differences between the left and right make the image go a little bit wider.
That's really cool.
So this is a particularly fun. It's a good tone quest device. I often thought too of like having this. I used to have my pedal board and everything going into these preamps and into this EQ all the time.
Yeah.
Because you'd over here dial in the sound, and then I'd have even more. It's like coming out of that mixing the Mackie stereo into here, and you just have more kind of control in your mix here to kind of just like find the tonal pocket for it to fit in with you. You can kind of just
for like every sound
sculpt it. Like, oh, this drum machine sounds really good like this. I like. It's like I like having these kind of like malleable EQs at hand when you're tracking, because you can kind of point things in the right direction. So that's why that's
awesome.
You
still got the Moog pedals.
The Moog pedals.
Those are so expensive now. They're rare too.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I love them. They're currently not hooked up right now, but they will be. I was just using them on the floor recently, but they're awesome. They have that one, and the ring mod is the one I mostly use over there.
And then you have the NS10s as well. Do you use those as more of like a check, or are you like mixing on them for long periods of time?
It depends on the record. And then maybe the type of music that I'm mixing. It's funny, some records I've found, maybe heavier ones actually, maybe more guitar-based records. Yeah. I sometimes I've found I like mixing on the NS10s a little bit more, and then other stuff the Dyne Audios I like. But yeah, either or. I like one thing I don't like doing is if I'm listening to anything on the NS10s for a long period of time, it is a real, like, it messes with my ears to then go back to the Dyne Audios.
It's a big drastic change.
So it's a big drastic. So I kind of have to be aware. Or maybe that's when I'm going to take a coffee break, a tea break, and then step away and then come back. And
some people really don't like the switch.
Yeah.
I just got a pair. I never really worked on them my entire life, but I wanted just another set that was just kind of a mid-range focus thing. Yeah. And so far, I've just been using them to check, like, can I still hear the bass guitar, and how is the kick and snare and bass and vocal kind of volume, like, can I hear all the instruments? Like, I'm not necessarily like feeling them. Yeah. I can't imagine mixing like electronic music on them.
Yeah. But, no, I know. It's funny enough, I was in a studio last week, and listening through NS10s, but with with that they had a sub as well, and just a generic, cheap Best Buy home theater sub. Okay. Supplementing them. Yeah. And that was kind of cool, actually, because you could get it's funny with the NS10s. I've talked to other engineers about it too. I can kind of you can get a sense of some low end on them. Yeah. And you can even, it's funny, you can even, you can see the cones moving in and out, and you kind of can get a gauge of how your low end is by how much the cones, and looking at the cones moving in and out. But the sub really helped a lot. Yeah. It was pretty cool. So I've thought about getting that to help cover on the Dynaudios as well too, so I can get that fun kind of like low end coverage.
The sub thing is a weird, it's a like I'm currently doing the sub thing because my speakers, they start to roll off at 60.
Yeah.
They're kind of like a modern NS10. Like they don't really sound like NS10s, but they don't go super low. And I'm kind of using the sub to make up for that low end, but I think with a sub you gotta kind of get the crossover sitting good.
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to do something like 10 hertz above where your speakers are kind of like rolling off. So it ended up kind of working out really well for me because my sub rolls off, or my sub goes up to 70 hertz. My speakers roll off at 60.
Yeah.
But if the sub is not sitting in a good spot, the phase is off, then it could be not as good of a setup for your, just using the Dynaudios on their own. It'll probably take a little bit just to get used to it and play with it. But I think it would sound good in here. You have like enough space in the room, and you actually have a good amount of space between your wall and the speakers just to like play with placement and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, I'm not cranking it too hard down here either, and I like you're always referencing other records and things, whatever. But I do. I'm very curious about.
A lot of people argue too with the sub, like it will if you can take away some of that energy out of your mains, like your mains will perform better because they don't have to work as hard.
Yeah.
But you might. I mean, what are those 10 inch or 8 inch? Is the no? They're not 15, is it? Is that the BM15?
That's not 15. Yeah.
No, that's not a 15.
No. I don't know why it's a BM15.
Is that an 8 inch? I think it's an 8 inch woofer. Does it say on the back? I don't know if it says. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they can produce quite a bit.
They're pretty. You can send a lot to them. Again, especially when you're working on techno music.
Yeah.
You can just crank up the kick drum and it'll be like, all right, whatever you want, just like send it back, and then you go out and listen in your car and it's like unlistenable in your car because it's too much. But I don't know. I love like we all do. I love the lows, so it's fun to have that dialed in
for
down
sure.
There. Yeah, but so far so good. It's taken me a minute to get something that I wrap my head around, and this so far is it. So I'm not really I thought about. I was looking at the ATCs there for a bit, and the barefoot things. It was so expensive, but I find this is this works for me.
Well, I think I told you, like I mean, nothing against those speakers, but there's Barefoots at Witchwood, which is the studio above my room, and they're totally great for tracking on them. Like I feel confident tracking on them, but they do hype things in the top end a little bit in a weird way.
Yeah,
and they're sealed, so like the bass on them is really tight. So I think that like when you're working on them, your low end is like probably a lot looser than you're actually hearing it. Everything sounds really tight on them.
Yeah.
And then the ATCs, like, I'm sure it's model dependent, it's room dependent, but I couldn't really make the 25s work for me in both like my home studio and my new room.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just the analyticalness of it. Like I said, I heard Alex Gamble's PMCs, and those were kind of more what I was looking for, where it's like you're getting that analytical thing, but it still just sounded like the record that you'd put on. You're like, okay, that's exactly what this record sounds like. So those are kind of my next dream ones, but again, it's so room dependent. And I'm in a similar position too, where it's like I went from a $10,000, or I should say like a $12,000 speaker to like a $4,000 speaker, and these are working way better for my room, and you just get to know the room and get to know your setup, and as long as you feel confident in that, then that's all that really matters, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so because I got pretty obsessed with the speaker thing, and now it's like if someone were to come into my room and be like, "What are these?" I'm like, I mean, they're good, but it's like they're nothing. They're maybe not like the cheapest speakers you could buy. Like they're still very much decent speakers, but I
Yeah.
just kind of like, I tried them. They sounded good in the room, and I went with it. You know, so I feel like that's what most of what you've gone. Like, did you end up trying a lot of different speakers in here, or was it more like I like these. I'm just gonna like learn them.
That's essentially it. Yeah. I think I had the Yorkville powered. Where were they? Like the YSM 1P or whatever, and for the longest time, and then and they were great. I didn't mind those either. Again, those were just like they sounded like what my stereo sounds like, and that was fine too. And then an opportunity came up for these. I got them used, so I was able to jump on them when they came up.
You gotta buy speakers used.
Yeah, well, yeah. But yeah, didn't really try out anything else. What maybe the only issue is sometimes people are, when I'm working with other people, they
want them to crank it.
You want to crank it, and maybe they're and are people are used to listening on their home stereos at home or on their AirPods or whatever. And so sometimes when we come here to work on stuff, to maybe and even to do mix revisions, they'll be like I think that change is cool, but I can't tell. I can't quite wrap my head around what I'm listening. They sound too clear to me here, and so it's it's hard.
I feel like everybody. I feel like that is a common thing that a lot of us have to go through. It's like I don't know. Like in here, it sounds good, or it sounds different, or it's really jumping out, or.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I often tell people like ideally make those notes on your set of listening.
Yeah.
You know, and then feel more confident in that than what you're hearing on my speakers that you're only in front of for like a few minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, sometimes you just do have to kind of like really work on those decisions together in the room, and I think I guess like you could just kind of tell people too. It's like, okay, trust me, I know these speakers, like that's too loud, or like this is going to be too much bass. Or,
exactly. And at that point, sometimes a lot of times you're in the really technical weeds towards the end of maybe mixing, and then someone's like, I wish that delay tail at the end of the last chorus was just a little bit louder, and you're like, oh, but here it sounds nice and loud. I'm like, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to literally turn it up 2 dBs at the end, and we'll just print it. Okay,
totally.
And then you take it out, and you know if it's good or not.
Yeah.
But it works all right.
Yeah.
Until I get a car in here with a car stereo that we can just like sit in a car. You know, like that's the ultimate dream, is to have like a car in your studio that you can just go and like patch the stereo into, and you can just sit in a car.
Yeah.
And reference your mixes.
It's funny. I saw somebody talk about it recently. How it was kind of the opposite. Like for a long time, and maybe I don't know. I don't know where I'm at mentally with it, but for a long time, up until recently, honestly, a lot of I kind of went to the idea like, okay, if you can make it sound good in a car, then you're good.
Yeah.
But I will say, like we got a new used car recently, and the stereo on it is pretty whack. Like it's. Nothing really sounds good on it. It's not just my mixes, but anything I play, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
I saw a video about somebody just kind of saying, I don't worry about that anymore because every car stereo sounds different.
Yeah.
Some are just crazy bassy. Some are just, some people don't know how to adjust them at all. So their settings are just kind of out of whack. So I feel like the AirPod is actually the better reference at this point.
Yeah, I remember when. Exactly. Yeah. Again, but checking on AirPods because a lot of people are listening there. I remember when Beats by Dre first came out. I was a bunch of other like producer friends were buying those. Yeah. Because everyone who listens to music had Beats. Yeah. So it's like I want to know what my music sounds like on the most popular headphones in the market. Yeah, exactly. So, it's a good thing to think about.
Yeah, that's the new NS10 or the new AM radio.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Anything you're excited about right now that you want to talk about?
Yep. There's a new Holy Fuck record that's coming out in March.
Amazing.
27th. Let me just double check.
Okay.
It's coming out in March.
This is actually not even like a planned pitch either.
No, it's not a planned pitch. We have two. We just put out the second song last week.
Oh, okay.
And
awesome.
our
I haven't checked that out yet. I gotta what's that called?
Our album.
The song?
The song's called Elevate.
Elevate. Okay.
So that's we have first single is called Evie. Second song is called Elevate. We have 2 more tracks coming out, but the album drops towards the end of March.
Nice.
And then we've got tour dates in April and May.
Awesome.
So that'll be gearing up. So yeah, I'm getting kind of mentally preparing myself for all of that stuff. And yeah, still some studio stuff coming up, and just trying to just be creative as much as possible, and write as much as possible, and a couple irons in the fire that I'm excited to talk about later. I'll talk to you about.
We'll do another. We'll get into that at some point in a later video.
Yeah,
that's awesome. All right, thanks so much, buddy.
No sweat.
Appreciate that.
Cheers.
All right, cheers. I'm hoping to do more of these, so give it a like, give it a subscribe. All buttons in, community.